Listen. What do you hear in this exact moment? Perhaps it is the distant hum of traffic, the low vibration of a refrigerator, or the subtle, synthetic breath of your computer's fan. But beneath that physical layer of sound, there is another noise, a relentless, invisible frequency that dictates the rhythm of your life. We are a species drowning in a sea of our own creation. From the moment we open our eyes to the moment we collapse into exhausted sleep, we are tethered to the glowing rectangles in our palms. The endless scroll, the infinite feed, the notifications that light up the darkness of our bedrooms like digital fireflies. We tell ourselves we are merely staying connected. We convince ourselves that we are seeking information, entertainment, or community. But if we are brutally honest in the quiet hours of the night, we know the truth. We are not running toward connection. We are running away from ourselves. You are terrified of silence, and you are not alone. It is the great, unspoken epidemic of the modern age. We have built an entire civilization around the frantic avoidance of empty space. We fill our ears with podcasts while we wash the dishes. We flood our eyes with videos while we eat our meals. We blast music while we walk through nature, desperate to drown out the rustling leaves. Why? What is it about the absence of noise that sends a shiver of anxiety down our spines? Why do we instinctively reach for our devices the very second a conversation stalls, or when we are forced to stand in a line for mere minutes? It is because, in the silence, the masks we wear begin to slip. The French philosopher Blaise Pascal once wrote, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." He wrote those words in the 17th century, centuries before the invention of the smartphone, the internet, or the algorithm. Even then, the human mind recognized the terrifying weight of its own company. Silence is not empty. It is a mirror. When the digital noise fades, the external world retreats, and you are left entirely alone with the ecosystem of your own mind. And for many of us, that ecosystem is not a peaceful garden. It is a battlefield. When you unplug, the repressed thoughts rise to the surface. The regrets of yesterday, the anxieties of tomorrow, the subtle, gnawing sensation of inadequacy, the quiet grief you never fully processed, the dreams you abandoned for the sake of comfort. These are the monsters that live in the quiet room. And the screen, the beautiful, endless, mesmerizing screen, is the lock on the door. Every time you pick up your phone to escape a moment of boredom, you are administering a digital anesthetic, a quick hit of dopamine to numb the low-grade existential dread that bubbles up when you're not distracted. But here is the tragedy. By constantly running from the uncomfortable whispers of your own soul, you are also deafening yourself to its wisdom. Imagine a vast, ancient library, walls lined with leather-bound books, smelling of old paper and dust, bathed in the golden light of a dying sun. This is the architecture of your deep mind. This is where your true creativity, your intuition, and your most profound realizations reside. But the door to this library is heavily locked, and the key is buried under avalanches of cheap, disposable information. Tweets, reels, breaking news about things you cannot control, endless opinions of strangers you will never meet. When you consume constantly, you lose the capacity to create. When you listen to everyone else's voice, you forget the sound of your own. This is what the noise costs you. It costs you your depth. You become a shallow vessel, easily agitated, reacting to every external stimulus like a leaf caught in a storm. Your attention span splinters. Your capacity for deep work, for deep love, for deep presence, it withers away. The Stoic philosopher Seneca warned us about the shortness of life, not because we don't have enough time, but because we waste so much of it. We surrender our most precious resource, our attention, to the algorithms designed to harvest it. We are trading the sacred hours of our lives for the illusion of being occupied. How do we break the spell? How do we stop running and finally turn around to face the mirror? It begins with the courage to disconnect. The digital detox is not merely a modern trend. It is a vital act of spiritual survival. It requires intentional withdrawal. It means creating boundaries of iron around your attention. Start small. Do not reach for your phone in the first hour of waking. Let the morning light touch your face before the blue light of the screen touches your eyes. Drink your coffee in absolute silence. Observe the panic that rises in your chest when you do this. Watch the itch in your fingers. Notice it, but do not obey it. When you walk outside, leave the headphones behind. Let the world be the soundtrack. Listen to the wind. Listen to your own footsteps. At first, the silence will feel loud. It will feel uncomfortable. The mind, starved of its cheap dopamine, will thrash like a wild animal in a cage. You will feel bored. You will feel anxious. Let happen. Sit with the discomfort. Breathe through the anxiety. Do not run. This is the alchemy of solitude. You are burning away the superficial layers. If you can endure the initial discomfort, the noise in your mind will eventually begin to settle. The dust will clear. And then a profound shift occurs. The monster in the quiet room transforms. The terrifying void becomes a sanctuary. You will realize that the silence was never your enemy. It was waiting for you. It was holding space for you to heal, to reflect, to remember who you were before the world told you who you should be. In the stillness, clarity returns. Problems that seemed insurmountable suddenly unravel. Creativity, long dormant, begins to spark. You discover that your worth is not tied to your productivity, your notifications, or your online presence. Your worth is inherent in your simple, quiet existence. We must reclaim the sacred pause, that space between stimulus and response, between the ending of one task and the beginning of another. It is in these empty spaces that life actually happens. So, as this video ends, I invite you to do something radical. Close the app, turn off the screen, sit in the quiet, and finally, listen to yourself.